I remember when I was homeless, and throughout the time period of 4 years, I found myself in a place of powerlessness. So I could get out of my ego, just like all the gurus say on YouTube or whatever book you might read. And going through those trials and tribulations of being homeless throughout those 4 years, I found that having and carrying and living the philosophy of trying to kill your ego was creating a vicious cycle of homelessness within my life. I would find myself living like a hippie, just going with the flow, but not creating the flow. Because you see, there's a little thing called law of correspondence. As above, so below, just like the law of duality. So, since I found myself taking the advice of gurus saying to kill the ego, kill your ego, because it's what's causing all the pain and suffering in your life. I found myself creating pain and suffering and my reality, therefore, being homeless and staying in that vicious feedback loop I'm trying to get out of. Basically, because I was creating it. I've often sat in silence trying to ponder on my mind what a lot of gurus meant when they said kill the ego. Did it mean kill who you were or what you identified yourself as? Let me ask you this question. What if you identified yourself as something that isn't you and was told to you by outside entities? You can often see this in people that was brought up in the church as Christians, Catholics, Muslims, or whatever religion. They often don't veer off from what they was brought up to believe. And if you yourself come outside of that capacity of consciousness, discovering your ego, that is your true ego, within yourself, you'll often be described as demonic or of Satan, therefore against God, by the same people that you grew up with that was calling you brother, sister, or whatever place of worship. But this goes back to that simple question. What ego are we supposed to kill? And what ego are we supposed to listen to? When I hear that question, I think of circumcision or some other type of body modification that is supposed to be some type of holy or logical reckoning behind it to remove or modify. If whatever God created everything that you believe in, told everything to keep all body parts that way it was made by God, except for humans. The males have to get their foreskin cut off though, and that's sanctioned in the Bible or some other holy scripture. And in some parts of the world, it's the females that have to get the circumcision for some holy reason, one or another. And since that happens at a young age, when we're like sponges, we often take on these things as our identity. It's kind of similar to the life cycle of a butterfly. Imagine yourself as the beginning stage of the life cycle of a butterfly. It starts out as a caterpillar and goes through several stages to get to being a butterfly. Most people want to call themselves the butterfly when they hit a certain age, but don't understand or want to do what the actual caterpillar does to actually become a butterfly. Before the caterpillar becomes a actual butterfly, it has to go through a cocoon stage, something like you see on your screen. Before going into the cocoon stage, it has to sacrifice its current head, the ego that it thought it had or it identified with, the one it grew up with, the one that it was told that it identified with, that one. Most people do not want to do the sacrifice of the head part. So we hold on to what we believe to be true that we soaked up in our sponge emphasis stages of our life and deem that as our ego on something up in the sky. So when people ask the old age question, what does it mean and why do I have to kill the ego? God and the universe do not make mistakes, and everything happens for a reason. Even those sections of tissues that people want to remove from little babies, be it male or female, the reason people still do these things that is because they haven't gone through the stage of cocooning, because you have to cut off your own head just to be like the caterpillar. You have to sacrifice to gain. And that's scary to most people, even a lot of the elders. The ego you discover and you want to form a relationship to is the still small voice that's connected to your gut feeling within you. It's the oh hell no, fuck that within you. When I say ego doesn't make you think of the ego flying in the sky, it makes me think of that. We often imagine ourselves thinking within our heads, right? So, isn't that the closest thing to the sky? So, it seems to me that society, especially in the Western world, wants you to kill the leader within you so they can lead you. When you often think of an eagle or a hawk, you will often find them alone, planning ahead, surveying the land with superior eyesight and vision. Why would somebody ever tell you to get rid of that aspect of yourself? I often say that human beings are the only species that need a book to tell them how to live, what to eat, what to drink, how to conceive, and when to conceive. You see, ever since coming into this world, starting with the educational system, they go after and attack your ego, just like the eagle flying above the head, without you even knowing what it is at that point in time. So you can be led to do something that they want you to do instead of you doing your own purpose. What you were called here to do. No, just like me, being homeless was my cocoon stage. Before going homeless, I lost everything that I could or thought I identified with that was not me. That was the sacrifice that most people do not want to do. That was me losing my head like the caterpillar. The eviction, the car that had lost its life, the career I had as a vet tech, veterinarian, licensed in the state of Illinois, all lost and sacrificed to find out who and what I'm here to do. Just to find and connect with my ego, just like the animal you may see come and visit you at certain times of your life. That's hanging over a street light, looking at everything with sharp eye vision to be able to see ahead. When I say animal, I'm referring to an eagle or a hawk. If I would have killed my societal ego and never connected with my true ego, I would still be homeless to this day and probably not be here alive reading to you. It's cold enough during the Chicago winters to freeze you over the night while you fall asleep shivering. Another example would be entities that want to say that God made them incorrectly in the form of liking the same sex. But what's not understood by the same entities is that you have to be told and shown to like the same sex and that it's normal for God to make mistakes. No. Remember, God made mistakes when He gave a man foreskin and when He gave a woman a clitoral hood. No. That needs to be removed, right? According to that logic. It's a form of generational training and seeing that what you can get away with each generation and pushing the envelope. You see? That's what I've observed from this lifetime.